Good evening, pretty shiny peoples. How is everyone doing tonight? Hey, monkey. How are you doing, monkey? So, hey, Spooky. How are you? I am in a particularly good mood today, actually. You wouldn't think so by the title, I know, but I am. I'm in a really good mood. Um, so the title, not an attack, just loving correction. That's what they call it, right? That's what they call it when the Christian starts bashing on each other. I'm not attacking them, like I'm just correcting them because I care so much. Anyway, aw, spooky. Well, I hope you get really, really, really good rest and you have much, much energy. Okay, so first, let's start with liars. Cheryl, I'm gonna show you something, okay? So, see if I can find it. Um, Ooh, wait, how am I gonna share that actually without hmm. Hold on. I am new to all this and I'm trying to figure out how to share something without like sharing my entire screen cuz I don't want to, cuz I just don't fucking want to. So I'm trying to figure something out. What did that do? Can I do this? No, no, I cannot. Dang it. Oh, I have an idea. If I go here and then what can I bet it's 4 a.m. here, so that explains it. Yeah, so get some rest. Where is. Alright, I didn't know it wouldn't let me share my pictures without sharing my whole screen. I think that's BS. So now I have to, like, email it to me, I think. And maybe that will work. I'm not really sure. But if it doesn't, I have a video too, so that's okay. The other one needs to come over, and we'll send that. Then, okay. Now, maybe I can. Yes, haha. Okay. You see, Cheryl, where is it? Did it get cut off? Ah, it's cut off, but only in the picture. Dang it. Hold on. I gotta find the other one. We'll get back to that. But I need to find the first one because Cheryl needs to understand the difference between an opinion and a fucking lie. Not that it wasn't a really sad, pathetic lie and a rather ridiculous thing to lie about, which makes me think, dear Cheryl, this is a pathological problem. But you calling it an opinion was awfully fucking pathetic. So once I get that screenshot working, we will come back to you, okay? Okay, cool. Let's move to the hypocrites, though, because that's fun. And this one should present better. So let's go here. All right, so it wasn't so long ago that Bruce had a lot of complaints. Yes, Halsey, it's because my pictures aren't on a tab, so I had to email them to myself. But then when I emailed it to myself, it cut off what she said. And so that's fun. I'm going to have to figure that out later. But that's beside the point. So it wasn't so long ago that Bruce had a lot of complaints about other Christians in the community, about them expecting other believers to believe the way they believed, about Christians saying something about a believer's mental health, about people publicly bashing other people. And this was probably not even in the midst of that, right? Because I'd say that was probably about a year and a half ago. This is 6 months ago. And I found this, considering what's going on, I found this particularly interesting. So we're going to go over this, Bruce. Here we go.
The dumbest worldview might just be to taunt people with salvation and then say, you're not jumping high enough.
Ooh, to taunt people with salvation. That might be the dumbest worldview. Find that interesting, Bruce? Because what is it that you've been doing to Andy? You haven't been taunting him with salvation, have you? You guys haven't been talking about how he's backsliding. You haven't been creating video after video after video, attacking everything he might say, any idea he might entertain, pretending you know which of those ideas he's entertaining he must believe in. Too bad you've gone through so many conflicting ones, right? Oh, but you're not taunting anyone with salvation, are you? Okay, well, let's just see what your next point is. Why don't we move to that?
You're not jumping high enough. Jump higher. And then tell them God may be a liar. But don't worry. By the time you get to heaven, you still may lose your salvation. You know why? Because you're not jumping high enough. Jump higher. Jump higher.
Ooh. Again, though, isn't that what you're asking of other people? Right? Bond didn't do things your way, and you preemptively jumped the gun. You accused him of doing things that you were doing and used that to slander him. And I find that interesting. On top of that, you went after Andy, and what was one of your common excuses? What's y'all's excuse? Because he befriended someone you don't like. Well, if that's not asking somebody to jump not just high, but telling them exactly how to do it, I'm not sure what is, Bruce. See, how did you wrap that up, though?
You're not jumping high enough.
Well, considering you've yet to meet your own standards and you've done a 180 on everything you said in that video, not to mention most everything you've said since we met, congratulations. I guess you're not jumping high enough, Bruce. So I guess Bruce has the dumbest worldview by his own admission. Oh, and in other news, more hypocrites today. So, Linda, I was in Linda's chat the other day, and after Bruce and I talked, the one thing that I had conceded on was he said he didn't attack Andy, which okay, his loving correction of Andy, shall we say. Um, but he said he didn't attack Andy, and I said, okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'll go back and look, but maybe I have you confused with somebody else. So while we're in Linda's chat, did he bring up any other point I made? No. No, he brings up that one point. That one and that one alone. And I pointed that out and told him he was playing the victim and said that he was being a hypocrite. And Linda went on a whole rant. A whole ass tirade about I liked Pixie. I tried to give her a fair chance, but if she's attacking Bruce, you just block her. You just block her. She has her own channel. You're right, Linda. I do. Hi. And she doesn't need to be here starting shit in my chat, right? If that's all she's going to be here for, why is she even here? And I laughed and I left, all fun and games. But lo and behold, who is in Ace's chat this morning talking shit and trying to start something? Dear Linda, it hasn't even been that long. So soon? So soon? You're gonna flaunt your lack of self-awareness so quickly. Well, I guess if you had any, it wouldn't be so soon now, would it? But none of this is attacks. It's just loving correction because you might be so concerned for your salvation, After all, the Bible does say we'll recognize you, right? By your deeds. But I don't recognize any of your beliefs in you. Just a lot of projection. It's really interesting though. How many videos have you made about Ace, Bruce? You wanted to talk about how many Ace made about, I don't know, you, Bill, everybody else combined. How many of y'all made about Bruce? I mean, about Andy. And not just you, Bruce. If I took your videos and Bill's videos and Linda's videos, how many do you think there are? I mean, between the circle jerk, And if Andy's videos still beat yours, which I highly doubt, I'd still have to give him bonus points because the hell is your circle jerk doing? He's like living rent free in all your heads. I hope you know that. Yeah. I don't know. So you guys can block me on all your channels and you can block anybody who points out that you keep doing everything you complain against you. That's my complaint against JG too. Actually, that's my complaint against a lot of you. People keep saying things like, I don't like believers, or I only like Ace because Ace is a universalist and he tells me I don't have to change, or a bunch of other ridiculous bullshit like that. But Ace isn't my only friend who's a believer. And not all my friends who are believers are universalists. See, and the common thread is not being a believer or not being a believer. It has to do with your integrity, believe it or not. And some of you simply cannot exist without a certain amount of validation in your safety circles and echo chambers. Which brings me back to that lie, Cheryl. That lie. And over such a stupid thing. I'll bring the screenshot up later when I get it working. Don't worry, but it's okay. I can still quote you, Cheryl. So let's see what you said, that every time you go to JG's, you see William and Bond and Pixie and Halsey bashing God. That's what you said, right? Bashing God. See, there's a problem with that, though. I am almost always banned from JG's. Almost always. So when you see me in there, it is a rare sighting, not an always situation. On top of that, when I go to JG's, I type about JG's love of echo chambers and fluffing the pillows to his safety circle and all of that good stuff. I talk about his love of one-way streets and his inability to function on a two-way street. And occasionally I do say things like God can't be a necessary being, but it's not so much an attack on God as an attack on modal philosophy. But you'd know that if you cracked open a book. But let's break this down, because what's really fascinating is not that you felt the need to lie when I wasn't even around. What's really fascinating is that A, you picked such a pathetic lie. I mean, just an inconsequential, pathetic lie, which is interesting because the last person you lied about, and I'm not even talking about Bond. Well, it's obvious you lied about Bond. So obvious. You also lied about not deleting your comments. But let's back up. Even before that, there's a certain someone you lied about, and it cost her rent on a certain channel. You've not only blamed her for something she had nothing to do with, you spread it around like you knew it was a fact. And you know what? I bet if somebody called you out on that, you'd have the same excuse you had for your pathetic lie this time. You'd say something dumb like, I was just stating my opinion. Except that's not an opinion. You pretending you know what I talk about and that you see me somewhere all the time isn't an opinion. It's just a lie. So I don't know what's more pathetic, that you had to lie about something that stupid, or that you're stupid enough to try to write it off as an opinion. But it's not an attack, dear Cheryl. That's just some loving correction. I don't give a shit. Let her snipe it. As a matter of fact, here you go. There's something to snipe. So, Linda, why don't we get back to you? You want to cry about people starting shit in your stream because you don't want any drama. But my God, do you love spreading it, right? I mean, wasn't that you talking shit and making threats in Ace's stream this morning? You're sniping my stream, right? Because despite all your innocent little protests, you can't get enough of the drama, Linda. You fucking thrive on it. So eat cake, honey, and enjoy it. You've got a lot more coming. Y'all wanted my attention, you begged for my attention, and now you got it. And you're gonna regret it, because I'll give you more than you asked for. My Petty Blair plays hard, and I never pretended otherwise. And see, here's the interesting thing, is at the end of the day, I'm fine. I'm gonna sleep fantastically. But you've got choices to make, don't you? Are you going to be a Christian and turn the other cheek? Are you going to be a Christian and forgive me? Are you going to be a Christian and worry about your eternal soul? Or are you going to be fake? And are you going to come stir the pot? And are you going to justify it? And are you going to pretend it makes you morally superior? Gives you some moral high ground? That you're somehow better than me and safer than me, and you're still gonna go to heaven? Oh, but I don't have those considerations to make, do I? I don't need a reason, and I don't need to justify myself. So I guess we'll see who gets darker faster, huh? Anyway, you guys could come up at any point. I posted the link. I am just having fun this evening because I got off work early enough to, because I am in a really, really good mood, and because I can. Hi, Linda. Bye, Linda. You know the difference between me and Linda? Is I don't need her fucking validation. I don't need your fucking safety circles or your echo chambers. And I'm not scared of you, bitch. You're not blocked. Come in and say something. I've never blocked anyone. Never had to. I'll talk shit back. I'll play. I don't care. I ain't afraid. That was very Texan of me. Came out very Texan. I sounded like my big sister just then. I ain't afraid. Although she would have said it with a little more twang. She'd have been like, I ain't afraid. Oh my god, I did just sound like my big sister then. That's how my big sister talks. I remember when she first moved up north, everybody would make fun of her because they'd be like, "Where's your husband?" And she'd be like, "Oh, he's out shooting." Shooting. She cracks me up. And I have what's called a neutral accent, but if you put me around my big sister for too long, I'll start getting a little more southern. Don't work too hard, dear monkey. No, there's none righteous, no, not one, but man, do they like to pretend it. They like to pat themselves on the back. They like to speak for God. They like to think they know God's mind. They like to think other believers need to believe the way they do. And if they have doubts, ooh, that's something to be exploited. If they're exploring, oh hell. What was it Bruce said you shouldn't be doing? Threatening with salvation? But they're not hypocrites. No, not a one of them. Not at all. Totally can see that Christ they keep talking about, can't you? Yeah, you may have lied before, believe on the Lord Jesus Christ. I don't know who you are, but you go lying about me and beg for my attention, and I will be happy to give it to you too. Just saying. Love you, Super Munchkin. You leaving? Yeah. What time? Do you work tomorrow? Yeah. What time? 12:05. Cool. Love you. Love you. Bye. Super Munchkin's going to stay the night with a friend. She is awesomeness. She's the best person in the whole fucking world. She's my favorite person in the whole world. And I'll kill a bitch for that one. Don't even care. Anyway. Oh my gosh. You guys. It is June. And in August, she moves into the dorms, and I am going to be absolutely heartbroken. And this empty nest is going to kick my ass. And I'm probably going to be a little more fucking neurotic than I am right now. And that's bad news bears. But that's okay, because if this shit keeps going, and I will be distracted and I will have an outlet because my petty bear plays hard. I don't got that turn the other cheek in me. You got to earn that position. You got to earn the I'll let that slide. Hey, Gio. So what has everybody else been up to? I was going to sit through one of the Hypocrites streams today, but I think it was all about Andy again. Just like yesterday's stream. And another one of the Hypocrites has a stream about Andy planned for the 14th. Planning that shit 2 days in advance. Yeah. But they're not attacking him. Nope. Not at all. You know? See somebody struggling and the appropriate thing to do is to jump online and talk about their mental health. Of course, that's so loving. Also offers a great amount of correction. Yep. Don't make friends people don't approve of, because apparently that can cost you your salvation. And that leads me to another thing. They want to play the victim so bad. Exhibit A, Cheryl jumps into a conversation, mentions bocce vans and foreskins, and then cries, "Oh, I'm such a victim. Somebody used the word foreskin at me. You started it, you dumb bitch. What the hell did you think was going to happen? Now you want to cry? Now you want to cry? Really? It doesn't make any sense, But they have a habit of this. They do this repeatedly. If somebody makes a video about them, it's an attack. If they make a video about somebody, it's loving correction. If somebody tells them they don't believe right, then how dare you? You're telling me how high to jump. But I can tell you, you don't believe right. And they will jump so hard to be the victim. I asked Bruce this. Bruce was going on about how people were going after Andy because he befriended somebody that they didn't like, and apparently he's done some problematic things in the past. To which I said something along the lines of, I'm sure the apostles had the same questions for Jesus, trying to relate to him with his own text, right? He wanted to be the victim so bad. I kid you not. He said, "Are you condemning me now?" Well, let me ask you, Bruce. Do you think the apostles were condemned, you fucking asshole? Or did you just want to be the victim that bad? No, they is the group of hypocrites and liars this title is about, not believers in general. Just so you know, believe on the Lord. They is the liars and the hypocrites, not believers. That should be evident in the title of my video. It doesn't say Christians, it says liars and hypocrites, right? So that's who they are. And they know who they are. I promise. One of them's in here clipping it. As I said earlier, people want to say things like, I have a problem with believers, and that is simply not true. Many of my friends are believers, Christian and otherwise, Buddhist. Some are Universalist. Some are Hindu. I have a Zoroastrian friend. I have some Muslim friends. Believer is not the part of the equation I have a problem with. Now, I do say, as a non-believer, I have a phrase that I like, a saying that I like, and it is, if you want to know about who a person truly is and where their values really lie, ask them about their God, and they will tell you who they are. So, will I on occasion tell a particularly small person that their particularly small God is laughable and ineffectual? Absolutely. Sure will. Does that mean I have a problem with believers? No. Hold on. Victor, go up there, buddy. It's okay. Okay, I have two dogs. One's about 50 pounds and one is about 60 pounds. The 60-pound dog is a scaredy cat. He's a chicken shit. He's scared of everything. So, what was going on just then was he was sitting at the foot of my daughter's bed, barking because he needed permission to jump up there because he's a weirdo. Anyway, sorry about that. Waiting for you guys to join. But if you don't, maybe Linda will get bored enough that she'll drop this and cry about and then she won't have a reason to cry, is what I meant, about what a hypocrite she is. I wonder, since she likes a nice, peaceful chat and people to leave their opinions on their own channels, I wonder if she'll be stopping by Bruce's to talk some shit and threaten people anytime soon. Or was that a one-off this morning? Having trouble with self-awareness, Linda. You know why she's sniping it? She's sniping it because I don't leave them up. And I don't care. Me not leaving them up has nothing to do with me trying to hide anything. As a matter of fact, all you have to do to get back to my video is save the link. So, hint number one, you guys. And number two, I'm not trying to hide anything. You ask me what I said, and I won't lie about it. I'll tell you. I'll tell you exactly what I said. My last stream was called Cheryl's Still an Effing Liar. And you know what? Cheryl's still a fucking liar. Cry about it. However, I will say you better be making some commentary that I can break down and point at and laugh at later. Because if you're not throwing your commentary in there and you're not pausing it and you're not providing me more ammunition, I might just do a copyright strike just for funsies, because the only reason I'm okay with it is that it's just me up here. You start fucking with people I'm fond of, and, well, that's how this all started, isn't it? I don't mind going down a few more levels. The question is, does your God mind if you join me? Oh, was that a little too dark? That might have been a little too dark, but I don't give a fuck. If you guys don't start joining soon, I'm just gonna end the stream. I've been having fun though. I have been having fun. Linda the hypocrite. Did you come here to type shit? You blocked me from your chat. Don't worry, I won't return the favor. I don't need people to fluff pillows in my safety circle. I don't need a safety circle. You know why? Because I'm not doing shit that I cry about other people doing. So go ahead, Linda. Go cry and talk about how people shouldn't be starting stuff in your chat. You should just have the privilege of starting shit in everybody else's. Mine, Ace's, Andy's, anyone's. But poor little Linda's.
Hi.
Hey, Crypta.
You said
How
come
are
up. You said come up. I figured we
How are
finally
you?
talked face to face without like punching each other out in a chat. Like, hey girlfriend,
Sounds good to me.
how's it hang?
Well, as you can tell, I am in a fantastically facetious little mood this evening.
And you look fabulous. And I like
Thanks.
I even told Midnight you look so happy. And you're like finally like you just like I don't know what it's like a whole weight came off you and you're just yourself.
To be honest, I went through something really, really dark. I had a horrible series of events happen that kicked off with my godbrother killing himself,
Oh
and
my God.
things just seemed to get worse and worse and worse for a little bit. So I was in kind of like a spiral. I was in a spiral.
You
Um,
were.
which is why I left for a while. And I came back. Because these people started shit
We
with
need
Bond.
you.
Well, they started shit
We
with
need
Bond, and they
your
started
friend.
shit with Andy, and they want to pretend like they're doing it for some bullshit righteous reasons, and they're mad at me because I called them out. Whatever, I don't care. Let's play because my petty bear plays hard, and you done fucked with one too many people I care about.
Well, it's I've been away so long, like focusing on like Canadian politics and stuff like that. And I come back and it's almost the same drama with these people. You know what I
No,
mean?
it is. No, you know what cracks me up?
I'm like,
When
I
I
literally
people-
am I in 2020 again? Like, what the fuck, man?
when I first met these people, they were complaining about a particular group, right? And they were
They're
being
always gonna complain.
being let's just say when I met, they were being friendly with Group A, complaining about Group B. Right? Now they're friendly with Group B, complaining about Group A, but they have the same complaints.
Yeah, it's
Now on top of all of this, their list of favorite hobbies matches their list of complaints. Go figure.
wow. Just well, this is sort of why I don't blame you for taking a break because I've taken breaks from it because it's too much. It's just and it's so unrelated from my world. Like, oh my God, China is basically owned Canada, but this is important. Okay, I think I better focus on my country right now. Like, we don't exactly have a military, although we did just shift 50 tanks to the Ukraine because we want to help. And it's good because Canada's.
You know, we say we're helping, but the truth is the shit we're sending them is shit we have to replace anyway because it's at the end of its lifespan.
I just feel good because it's not like Canada borders Russia. You know what I mean? They need it more. We're totally okay up here. We got tampons in the men's bathrooms in the military bases. I think we're covered. I wish that was a joke. No, like your
That
would be like,
no, that would
you're the end of it.
actually, that one actually doesn't bother me, and I don't think it would bother my dad, but not for the reasons you think. I know my dad was a Marine, but here's why. First of all, my brother had
wounds.
yeah, but my brother had 3 big sisters. All right. My brother is the kind of person who has pads and tampons in his car in case a female coworker needs it. Right? Because he works in a job that doesn't cater to women. And if somebody there's not a lot of women around, right? So if somebody forgets,
I can appreciate bosses like that. You know, I'm not shaming them, but when our submarines are held together with duct tape, we got to get our priorities in order, you know.
But here's the thing: I doubt they're really buying more tampons. They're now just like splitting the supply between 2 bathrooms. Now you've got a lot more girls going, honey, go get me a tampon than before.
Oh no, oh, no. The guys ripped them off the walls the first day, and I don't think they replaced them. That's it kind of.
I don't know. I think back in my dad's day, they had other shit to worry about, right? Like I listen to my dad's. I listen to my dad's boot camp. Like when I would listen to his boot camp stories, Oh
Oh,
man, that was something else. Like they had so much to worry about. That's not even on the radar. Like he
oh
didn't
yeah.
go. He was never supposed to be a sniper. He was not. But back
A
in
lot
those
of
days,
kids
you
weren't.
didn't. You first of all, you didn't have as much control or as much say as you do now. Like
Mhm,
you could pick something and they could yank you out of it, right?
mhm.
So my dad was supposed to be infantry. Well, like all through boot camp, him and this other guy, this big old guy just did not like my dad. And my dad is not very big. Like he was not, he was like 5'7", five
You don't
seven and
need
a
to
half.
be
Like
big to be a sniper.
no. Well, actually he was a badass. I mean, he knew
He was.
he knew more than one kind of martial arts. He was an MP. He was a professional fighter for a
Nice.
while. Like he did competitions, all of that. My dad was a badass, but he was not very big, right? Anyway, so this guy kept like picking on him and picking on him, and he had like let it be known, on graduation day, he's like, when we get back to the bunkers, like I'm gonna go after him and all that. Well, they had those big like metal foot lockers, and my dad had heard the rumors. So what he did was he emptied out his metal footlocker. He just emptied it out. And then he went and turned all the cold water to the showers off. And that guy came out of there pissed. And he knew who did it, right? So he goes aiming for my dad, and my dad just lifts up that locker. Like right when the guy got close to him, my dad just lifted up the metal locker. So when he's graduating, they were like, okay, so since you like to cause trouble, we're gonna send you to sniper school. And my dad was like, oh. Well, and he was a good shot. He was a good shot. You're a good shot, you like to cause trouble, we're gonna send you to sniper school. So that's why he was a sniper.
That's actually kind of a promotion, like, well, in the Canadian military, if you're a sniper, you are like,
Well, he's safer because of it, right?
yeah.
Well,
It's
safer. He still saw his if you're a sniper. Okay, so if you're a sniper, you're paired with the spotter. That
yeah.
spotter is with you on every mission you go on. That is your spotter. Now, they don't send one team on a mission. They'll send more than one team on a mission. So you'll have like 2 snipers and 2 spotters. But your spotter is always your spotter. You guys are together, right?
Yeah.
Like these two, like my dad went through
Yeah,
boot
I've been
camp
watching,
and
like,
everything. Well,
yeah.
they were running around town one day, and I don't think they were supposed to be, but they had to leave the base to get some supplies. And my dad said he yelled duck. He turned and looked at the car beside him and saw guns and yelled duck and ducked, and his spotter said what, and then bam.
Holy fuck. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and that's when my dad went rogue for a bit.
Well, like, that would hit you hard, like a lot of the sniper lore with Canada is just little farm boys, like nothing else to do in the prairies. So we, in World War II, like, we made top ranks just because there's nothing else to do in the prairies.
You know what stories scared me the most? Were actually not, it was the rescue team stories.
Yeah.
Oh, those are horrifying. Okay, I can't. All right.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Like,
I'm gonna try to get through this one. I'm not gonna give I'm not gonna give a lot of detail because
no, don't.
and I'm gonna get through it fast, and I'm probably gonna get through it with the smirk on my face. It's not because I enjoy it. It's because that's the only way I can get through it. We ready?
Yep.
Here's the story that kept me from joining the Air Force. My dad was on the rescue team. It happened to be the mission, not the mission he got shot on. The one right before, the one right after he got shot. I want to say it was after because I think he had already been like hopped up on drugs and shit. Anyway, to keep him alert and pain-free.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're loading up the helicopters, and the helicopters are really full, and they need to take off, and the enemy is coming. But the civilians, the terrified civilians, do not want to get the fuck off the ramps, do they? No, they don't. So all of this is going down, and one of the sergeants says, open fire, and my dad says, what? And he says, look, some of us die here or we all die here, we have to go open fire. And he said, I can still see all the faces in the crowd, the kids, the moms, the babies, the dads, and I can't tell you who I hit. And that kills me more than anything.
Well, I keep saying, like, when you're telling me that, I think about the pulling out of Afghanistan, and that affected both of our countries. And that was like, hey, let's just leave it for ISIS. You know, I was like, wow, like you saw the people, like, in war, you have those tough calls. Can I ask you a question?
What bothers me more? Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'd rather hear, your.
What bothers me more than the way we pulled out, which has been discussed all to high hell and back. What bothers me more than the way we pulled out is what we did before we pulled out, and people don't want to talk about that.
No.
We betrayed the allies who kept us safe there.
Oh God, yeah. We failed our interpreters, and
not just our interpreters. They're the people.
So
they're citizens who helped us, who believed in us, who put themselves between us and the people we were fighting, who turned in, who told us where to find the people we needed to find.
Yeah.
All of that. We betrayed them and we left them there to be handed over. Yeah. And I think that is despicable.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, and it's something you never hear about on media, like it's like buried.
Because you're not American.
Or Canadian, the Taliban's there. What does it matter, And it's awful. Like I lost a friend there. It does matter, We really went in there trying, and we didn't even have equipment as Canadians. No, we didn't have desert camo until year 4.
See, that whole conflict, the whole war in Iraq, all of that started when I was still in high school.
Yeah.
So I remember my first year of college. I had to go back to a town. I went to 3 different high schools, right? One of the high schools I only went to my freshman year, but I knew people there because even though I had went to that junior high and that elementary, I spent more years there.
Yeah.
And my first summer back, I always thought my first summer back was going to be for my cousin's graduation or something. No, my first summer back to that town was presenting my friend's family with a Gold Star flag because he was driving a Hummer that crashed with a tank when they were under friendly fire.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was rough. It was so rough.
Well,
and we were friends. We were friends. And so it was rough.
And I hate to say it, but when you go to those events after, it's almost hard to go back after, even though people want to connect, but it's almost too painful. It's like I can't,
Exactly. Well, first of all, I didn't love that town. I love certain people in that town, but I didn't love that town, right? And so now every time I go back, it's just like, I
know the feeling.
That and his sibling still has my friend's truck. Anytime something happens, they rebuild it. They refuse to let it go, and it's this old yellow truck. So anytime I see that yellow truck, when I went, it was so weird because I knew I was there to present the Gold Star flag to his family, right? I knew that that's what I was there for. But still, when I saw that yellow truck, I was like, there he goes. There goes Chad. No, there does not go Chad. There goes Chad's sibling.
Yeah.
It was rough. It was rough.
I know. It's like we always will have that with us, I think, especially in small towns. I even consider that in my city. There's places I'm like, I could tell you a whole ghost tour of some of my friends, like.
Oh, the hero here is actually the big military hero in this in this city that I live in is actually a Vietnam all the way back from Vietnam, and he gets celebrated every single year at every single graduation, and they tell his story every single year, and it's the saddest story. So apparently he graduated from the poorest school district in this city, which is the only school in this city I attended, but only for like half a semester, and then I moved away. Anyway,
No
well,
worries.
a semester. But anyway, so he basically he was just like one of those people that was always give, give, give. You know those kind of
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
So he's serving, and he had been wounded. He was already wounded, right? And they're fighting. And this grenade comes over. And he looks at his friend and he says, "It's okay, Mac. I got this one." And he jumped on it.
Oh my God.
And every year they tell his story.
Well, do you feel like we're losing this with the next generations? We're not telling, like, I feel like that with the World War II generation. Like, Normandy went and passed, and it almost seemed like,
Well, here's what I think they want us to lose that. And here's why.
Yeah.
Here's why I'm going to say that.
Yeah, no.
There was so much of that suffering and so much of that brokenness that it gave people the reason to strive for peace at all costs. Unfortunately, that hurts the war machine and that hurts the economy, particularly when you've built an unsustainable economy that requires an ever-growing generation to produce ever more goods for ever more consumers, right?
Yeah.
So the truth is, even if we were to get into a war of the same magnitude, our generation would not experience it on the same scale. Does that mean there's no trauma? Absolutely not. Does that mean there's not a lot of damage and a lot of hurt and a lot of pain? Of course there is. But we replace a lot with drones. And we create distance between the person committing the action itself, and the person receiving the action. And while there is trauma, I think that distance mitigates it enough that it's a completely separate kind of horror, and maybe although it's just as disheartening and just as troubling, it's not as intense, maybe.
Yeah.
Not as personal, right? Like,
I can see that.
It's one thing when you
direct
a drone to drop a bomb from 100 miles away versus you're looking a man in the face while you drive a bayonet through him, right? Like, these are two wholly different experiences. Yeah.
Well, I think warfare is also being fought on an economic level. Like, have you noticed grocery store prices and gas prices and all of this going up and up and up? Maybe not. You're in Texas. You guys are down.
Oh no, Texas
is expensive. Like, we're insane. I don't know what's happening.
Texas may not have a reason to drive it up, but they like to price gouge just like anybody else.
Okay, yeah. Well,
it might not be as expensive. It might not look as expensive as other places, but that's because they also don't get paid as much, and the cost of living isn't as much as other places. They'll fool you in that way. They'll also be like, "Our property's cheaper." Yeah, but the taxes aren't. It's
exactly. Because I look at American real estate prices from all different states, and because it's so expensive, like my little neighborhood is $1 million neighborhood of 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom ranchers with like a bathroom and like a little yard. And like,
And if you lived in New York, that would be the same. If you live where I am, that'd probably get you like a 7-bedroom house. You know what I mean?
I know. And I'm just looking like, I keep telling myself, it's like, this is like home. This is just how it is, but it shouldn't be how it is. Like,
I mean, but the average salary here isn't as much as the average salary somewhere else.
Well, what is it for minimum wage there, roughly?
Minimum wage? I want to say it's like a little over $7, 7 something.
Here it's $17.40.
Yeah, ours isn't even $10.
And the average 1-bedroom is $2,800 a month. Just for an average 1-bedroom apartment.
I'm gonna Google this. What is the minimum wage in Texas? Yeah, $7.25.
Wow. But you got guns. Like, you got it. And you don't got a lot of winter.
Depends. It depends on where in Texas you are, actually.
Yeah,
Southern Texas
deal with the winter.
Southern Texas doesn't have a lot of winter.
No.
Now, I don't have a lot of snow in the winter, but I have it like it gets cold, and that wind chill is brutal where I am.
Like ice winds, like
the wind is just like when you're like, oh, yeah, that wind is something else. I do want to move further south, though. Of course, I kind of want to be so far south that I'm not necessarily in the U.S.
Well, I've been thinking that, but I mean, Seattle's close enough to swim with. Let's like just.
See, I've been thinking about the Yucatan Peninsula.
Nice. I've been thinking about Japan.
Also nice. Super clean, which you wouldn't expect because it's like very densely populated. Super clean place.
Well, I've been looking at like properties more in the mountains, like these smaller towns that are looking for people. I have education. I'm willing to work. I could invest in the property, and they are looking for people to come back to the smaller towns. Country life isn't that bad. Yes, there is dirt and cows and
I prefer it, actually. And believe on the Lord Jesus Christ. Again, it depends on what part of Texas. People don't understand how big Texas is.
Oh, it's big. It's like
if you're in Austin or Houston or San Antonio, it is humid. But Houston and Austin and San Antonio are like more than a 12-hour drive from me. As a matter of fact, Dallas is about 6.5 hours from me. Six and a half hours from me. So I am in Texas, but I'm actually, here we go. If I take just a few more minutes, like 30 more minutes, I can get to Denver instead of Dallas. Just about 30 more minutes, right? That's how far up in Texas I am. I'm closer to New Mexico and Oklahoma. I'm right, and it is not humid here. It is very, very dry. I live in a semi-desert. It's like an oven. It's like an oven with a lot of wind. And in the winter, that wind is very cold. In the spring and the fall, it's really nice because you have really warm weather with a really cool breeze.
Yeah.
In the summer, you just walked out into an oven and then somebody turned a hairdryer on in your face, right? Like, but it's very dry.
Sorry. I'm so everything they say about it being rainy in Seattle and just like a swamp rainforest. Yeah, that's like right now. It's like I think the warmest it got today was 55 degrees. For June.
Wait, what is that? What is that in Fahrenheit?
55.
That's plus. Oh, 55 in Fahrenheit. Got you.
Yeah, so it's like we're still in like March, right?
No, See, okay, what was the weather today? What was the high today? I'm gonna find out.
One of my friends in Florida, it was 100, and I'm like, oh, you poor love. She's trying to do gutters too.
Oh no, we were at 99 Oh no, here we go. We were at 99 2 days ago. We were at 100 at 5 p.m. today. Now it's 77 degrees. Yeah. Anyway.
No, it's good to actually talk to you, just kind of. And I know there's a lot of drama on these other channels. You know that. Like, you know, I just
See, I don't
it's
live in
not
West.
constructive. Like, and you're an atheist. I'm Christian. I don't care. I'm not. You're
I'm a
not.
non-believer. I
Yeah,
don't.
but
Yeah.
you respect people. You don't force it down people.
I
You
respect
know what
some
I mean?
people. I respect some people, but yes.
Yeah.
El Paso. El Paso is, how far am I from El Paso? 6 hours and 53 minutes. I am in Texas, but I'm 7 hours from El
I know
Paso.
you're on that kind of.
Well, okay, because it's weird. You have South
Yeah.
Texas, right? You have South Texas. It's like that's where your humidity is, and your Gulf of Mexico, your coastal cities, right? That's where you've got Houston and San Antonio, Austin, all of that. That's southern Texas. Then you have Central Texas, which I honestly don't know that much about, to be honest. And then you have what they say is North Texas, which is not really North Texas, and that's Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Then East Texas, and East Texas is where all the trees are. That's the green part of Texas. Then they have West Texas, which is El Paso, and all of that, and that's the flatlands with all the ranches, right? That's West Texas. And then you have the Panhandle, and nobody knows what the fuck to say about the Panhandle. It's a big question mark, but that's where I am.
I'm more familiar with Louisiana. Like
We have
that's
a canyon. We have a canyon.
yeah, you're probably like pretty like hot from there. Like you could be in Baton Rouge in probably 3 hours, you know.
No, well, I'm probably closer. I'm gonna look. I'm actually gonna look. I'm probably closer to there than El Paso, but
Yep.
hold on.
Sorry.
I'm definitely closer to there than like Houston. Oh, about the same actually. 11 hours, about 12 hours, 11 hours and 52 minutes.
Further than I thought. That is the big state.
Well, Texas is huge. No, okay, so Baton Rouge would be close to like Houston and San Antonio. They would just
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm close to. If I go, okay, let's see. If I go west, I'll hit New Mexico pretty quick. If I go east or north, I hit Oklahoma pretty quick. And if I keep going north, I'm into Colorado pretty quick. Right? Like I said, I can get to Denver, Colorado in almost the same amount of time as it takes me to get to Dallas. I was born in Denver, actually.
No, a friend sent me that. So it's like I'm adopted by the state.
It's my birth state. I always thought I'd go back, but it doesn't look like I will. I'm okay with that. As long as I don't stay here.
Yeah.
I agreed to raise Super Munchkin around her family. And it happened to be in a place where the cost of living was decent, and
That's lucky. A lot of people don't have that.
Yeah. And it's one of those where it's not so small that she's super bored in like a tweaker town, but it's not so big that there's like a lot of like, you know.
Yep.
So I mean,
would not raise kids in this city. Like no.
But at the same time, this was never home, and it's never gonna be, you know? It's just not.
You'll find it. You know.
Maybe. Or maybe I'll just keep exploring. I'm good with that too. I always was restless.
Yeah, well, you know.
I'm a restless person.
Well, it's good. You should have adventures. Like I keep seeing that so much. Like some of my friends, and I look at them after years in the office, and I'm like, "Are you okay? Are you still alive?" Like,
No.
hello, McFly. Like,
No, I have to go on adventures. Like even if it's not very far from where I'm at, right? Like I have to find adventures. I cannot.
yeah,
But I'm that way in like even at work, right? Like my uppers have learned like when everything's running smoothly, you pull her away and you give her more chaos. And she will figure her way through the chaos. She will smooth it out and she will teach other people to do it very smoothly. And then you got to move her again because if you don't, we will lose her. And that is true.
yeah.
The moment I get bored, I am looking
Yeah.
I'm looking to be gone. So once everything's running smoothly, you better be handing me some more chaos because I won't stay if you don't.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Somebody looked at me one time and they said it better than I've adopted what they said now because
Yeah.
it just fits so well. But they said, it's really weird because everybody I know wants to be like good at their job, except you.
I've heard that before.
And I laughed hysterically. And she was like, but it's true. She's like, don't get me wrong, you're happy when everybody else is doing well. But it's like when you run out of questions, you get really bored. And then you start. And I'm like, that's true. If I run out of questions, it's time to give me a new project.
Yes. No, that's awesome.
It's kind of a true statement, though. I don't know why I'm like that. I just am.
Well, I think it's good you're like that. I mean, you're honest. Honest is a rare quality these days, you know?
I am. You cannot.
No,
people
you don't
can't
mince
say-
words.
People can't say they don't. Yeah, people can't say they don't know where they stand with me. Yes, you do.
No, you are there. It isn't even like you're wearing your heart on your sleeve. It's like, no, I am here. This is who I am, and I don't take shit. So.
I'm just very much like, you don't have to like me. That's cool. Like,
Well, I think that's a good quality. I mean, we have to do it like that. Yeah.
I don't like not knowing where I stand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so generally, I will let somebody else know exactly where they stand.
Well,
like Irenic will never question, does Pixie like me? No, Pixie fucking thinks you're a piece of shit. Pixie will always think you're a piece of shit. You know why? Because you are not the kind of person who can correct the mistake that made me think you were a piece of shit. And that mistake had
he
nothing
also
to do with me.
just goes out of his way to troll you.
Well, it's not even me. Here's the thing.
After years, I just like he just goes out of his way to troll you, and that's why I just ignore you a lot of.
It's not even me. Like he control
Oh, yeah.
he could troll me, and I would just laugh at it, right?
Yeah,
it's how you treat your friends. If you call somebody a friend and they call you a friend, right? If there is that happening and you fuck that person over so bad that you make them question your entire friendship, right? And you not only don't apologize for it, you double down. I don't care. It's not about you trolling me. It's like, if that's how you treat your friends, fuck you. And you don't recover from that in my book. I mean, if he went out of his way to make it right, sure, but he's the kind of person that, like, I bet he hasn't even thought about it.
No, he probably hasn't.
And for that reason, like, there's just there will never be a question.
It's only on so much of a level with him, and it always will be.
every day for the rest of his life, he could be like, "Hey, Pixie, what's up?" And I'd be like, "Fuck you, you piece of shit. Fuck you." That's it.
But I think too, he's actually insecure. He's dealing with stuff with his mom and stuff. So I think sometimes he does this "I'm the tough guy" thing because he's dealing with stuff he doesn't want to admit, like his mom. You know,
I mean, I guess, but like, we all are.
we all have our stuff, right?
So, no,
He's
fuck
still
him.
going to be a dick after mommy dies. Okay, I said that. Okay. No,
Look, wait.
Clint.
Well, I mean, what's the alternative? What's the alternative? That you wish he dies before his mom? I mean,
No, I
we all,
just,
we're all
I
gonna lose
just,
our parents at some point. It's not like you were like, when he kills off his mom, then you'd have to be like,
no, I just think he's so chill when he's just playing guitar, but then he comes on to streams just to poke people's buttons. And then it's like, okay, why are you doing this? Like, are you a kid who just needs the attention and affection? Like, or are you
I think,
just being annoying? Like, I'm confused.
I think he gets off when he's like leaning into the mic with his eyes closed and like half eating it, and he's like, "Woo, woo, woo, woo." Like, I think he gets off on it a little bit.
Well, yeah, I think that's what I meant. Yeah. He likes trolling, you know, because he knows it's one of your triggers. You know,
I don't really. I just point and laugh, and I don't and leave. I don't really stick around a lot. I mean, like I'll listen to him for a little bit, but it like even that isn't very amusing anymore because he just says the same shit over and over again.
so I got to plug in my laptop. There we go. Now it's plugged in. Happy. No, I think just so much has changed over the years, and you're going into an election in the States.
Fun.
I'm going into election in BC. Fun.
It doesn't matter who wins. I'm not gonna get my way.
Well, I think that's a good policy. An idea, like, even as so much is going wrong, and there's in Canada, there's so much foreign interference. Like, we need almost a babysitter in Canada to step in and look at our government and be like, okay, you guys like shouldn't have China and India and all these other countries giving you money like the way you are.
Look, we keep coming up with all these things, and don't get me wrong. I think a lot of them are good ideas. For example, I think ranked choice ballots are a good idea. You know, things like that. But I really think like some of our biggest plays are absolutely obvious. We're just too scared as the people to do it. For example, we live in a corporate oligarchy. We know both parties are bought. But do you think a third party is going to win the election this year? Or do you think people are going to line up behind the two bot parties yet again, hoping something's going to be different?
No, because I mean, Canada has 5 parties and we're obviously a mess. Please don't. I don't think more parties will fix it.
No, I'm not saying more parties will fix it because in the long run, you're going to have to question those parties too. What I'm saying is if you do it now, if we do it now, we do it in a strategic way. And here's why I say that.
Okay.
Because the problem with the two-party system that we have right now, right, is that both sides are bought by the corporations and special interests
and lobbyists. Yeah.
right? But because it is a two-party system and it is a known two-party system, none of that money is being funneled into any other party, right?
Mm-hmm.
They technically exist, but they're not being bought. So what you do is you let the non-bought people compete with ideas, and you elect based on ideas. And if you continuously do this, then that is the beginning of getting money out of politics.
I like that idea. I can't argue with you on that one. That sounds brilliant. Like, no, I think that's a great policy.
I also think we should be running on ideas instead of party platforms. We should have ranked choice ballots, and we should stop voting Republican or Democrat. Anybody who says I'm running on this platform should automatically lose your vote, because that just tells me you're bought by corporate sponsors. Good for you. Don't care. Next.
Yeah, I like the. Can we clone you and ship you up here and smack your Ottawa? Like, I I gotta bail soon. But it's been awesome, like, just saying hi to you.
Back at you. Sorry, I had somebody in my office.
No worries, no worries, no worries. No, I'll hang out for a minute. No, and definitely like and subscribe. Like, it's good to see her on the platform. Yeah.
Back. Sorry.
No worries, no worries.
Busy house sometimes.
No worries. I just kind of got to go back to animation and stuff and homework.
Well, have fun.
Sorry. I love my classes.
I actually miss mine. If I could be a professional student, I would be. You know those people that they pay to like go in and evaluate classes? I would totally do that. I miss I was somebody who, it's funny, my sister laughs at me because my sister has her master's and she was going to go for her doctorates. I think she completely changed courses, which is interesting because I didn't think she would. I thought she'd get her doctorates. But anyway, right after she got her master's, we were talking and she was like, I realized something. And I was like, what? And she said, we both have the same amount of schooling. And I was like, we do. And she's like, but I have my master's. She said, but I have my master's and you don't. And I said, this is also true. And she just kind of looked at me. And I was like, but here's the difference, right? You found what you were passionate about and you did this. When I say I'm restless in every part of my life, I mean it. My problem is I changed majors 8 times. I'd be like 1 or 2 classes away from finishing, and I'd be like, ooh, that looks fun. Right? And then there I'd go. You know what I mean? And I do have more than 1 degree, but I don't have my master's because I was...
I know, and that's the worst part with families because they're like, well, look at your sister. She's like a doctor, and you.
They did that.
I make shiny things. Are you proud of me? No, I made another one as well. Like, these took me hours.
Those are pretty.
But nobody cares, like, because they're like.
They tried to do that, but I think my mom learned it backfired, right? Like, really bad. Well, and in more than, okay, like, I'm not saying...
Maybe your mom needs to talk to my mom and say how it backfires.
Well, I'll tell you exactly how it backfired. And I'm not saying this to, like, brag or anything, believe me.
No
like,
worries.
I come from a very, very humble background. I grew up very, very dirt poor, like, dirt poor. But anyway, so the reason I say it backfired is... in little ways. Obviously, my sister could not take my tests for me, and I could not take her tests for her. However, my mom would say things like, she has 100 in this class, so you can have 100 in this class, right? Or, and it was really weird because we all had different strong suits, right? Mm-hmm. And so it got to the point where, like, and it took me a while to figure out that I got the short end of this stick because I had my sister's teachers the next year.
Yeah.
But she would do my math homework, and because she was a walking fucking calculator. and I would write her English papers.
Oh dear. Naughty,
And
naughty.
yeah. Yeah, so she would do my math homework and I'd write her English papers. And I got the short end of that stick twice because I was going a grade above me and she was going a grade below her. And then I was getting her teachers the next year and being like, "Oh, I gotta pick a completely different topic, or I gotta like take the opposite stance or something." Her to be like, "This looks awfully familiar."
Yeah.
I was good enough; nobody caught on though. So there we go. But
knock on wood, darling. That's why you're Jedi.
But also, it kind of backfired in the way that, like, again, I'm not saying this to like boast or anything. Financially, and it's not because like I make so much more money or anything. It's honestly probably because some investment options that weren't even my idea, somebody else's idea that I got to profit off of, right? Because sometimes I listen to good advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Sometimes I can take some good advice. But it was funny because people used to say things like, especially before I found my interests, because at one point I was like really shy. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't want to,
You were
and
even like that on here at first, so was I. I
well,
think
no, I mean way worse. Like I wouldn't even talk to my sister at school. They would like the teacher would ask me something and I'd just be like I just it was really bad, like really, really bad. But anyway, I probably was going with, I don't even remember what I was saying now. Doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. So my mom would make comments like she would tell my godmother like that she was worried about me, right? She was like, her big sister does this and her little sister does that and her little brother does that, and I just worry about her. My godmother kept telling her, leave her be, she's fine, she just needs to get out of this place, and the second I got out of that place, I found all my interests. How weird is that? I was like, oh, this is what I'm gonna have fun with. But I would say because I took some good advice, and things like that, I'm in a position where I'm the one that helps my family members, right? I was the one they were worried about.
And but you're a community leader even in YouTube. You know that. Like his
No,
babysitting the wild heart. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't babysit him.
We all tried.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a leash big enough for that one.
The messages I get from him are so few and far between these days, and
I know.
I think he's been sober for like 12 days now, 13 days, but even if he never touches another drop, he's got a long road ahead of him because.
Oh yeah, and I don't. I know I just really hope he wants it. I don't know how else to say it. I really choose life. Like
he wants it right now that he can't function. My hope is that it sticks when he's feeling better.
Yeah. I know, because that's always where he falls. And I shouldn't judge because I drink. I smoke pot, but I'm not assaulting people.
I'm not judging him. I really don't like watching somebody I'm fond of slowly kill themselves.
I don't think any of us do. And I think he'll get through it. We'll get through our things. I mean, hey man, I'm a disaster, so I shouldn't judge.
Oh, I'm a mess. I used to tell Super Munchkin when she was being particularly facetious. I used to tell her, "You're the biggest little mess there ever was, but that's okay because you get it from me."
Aw. You know what? Love you so much, and I'm like sort of fading, and I don't want to like pull a
Okay,
wild
sweetie.
and fall asleep on your stream and be like, okay, I'm just gonna nap right now.
No worries.
Thank you
No
so much
worries.
for the conversation. Love you so
Yeah.
much.
Good night.
Congratulations. And can I share your channel on X? Or
Sure. Whatever you want to do.
okay, just you have good points. So
Well, that is kind of you. Sometimes, sometimes I,
you stop
sometimes
being
I think it's a good point, and then 3 days later, I'm like, well, no, I
just
didn't walk that one out far enough, did
own
I?
it, stop being modest. Okay. Good night, love.
Good night. You too. Well, that was fun. We like derailed the stream, but I don't even care. I'm in a great mood, and that made me even happier. We can get back to the liars and hypocrites, though, or somebody else can join, or we can have a whole new topic, or whatever. I don't care. Look, that is driving me nuts. And you wouldn't think that it would drive me nuts because it kind of looks like the same as this under lighting, but it's not. This is sun damage. This is an owie that's almost healed. And it looks weird because the owie is on top of a scar that was already there. But anyway, it's driving me nuts because that's why I keep turning my camera off because I'm like, oh, my owie is showing. My owie. Weird thing to be weird. Like, it's a weird thing to be like, ah, I know. But then I thought, well, I'll just put a band aid there, but then it's even more obvious. So, I don't know. Whatever. I don't even know who's here anymore. Did y'all all leave? Should I shut down? Should we talk about something else? Is somebody coming up? What's going on? I will say, Bruce is being hypocritical in my opinion. But out of the group, well, one of them I don't really know enough of their stances to say they're being hypocritical, so it's not quite fair of me. But if they believe some of the things that they say they believe, then I would say, even though I think Bruce is being hypocritical, well, no, I can't. Never mind. I was gonna say I may almost feel like an apology because he may be one like the least hypocritical in the group, you know? Especially given like Linda with her, you can't do this in my chat, but running like a banshee in everybody else's chat, right? But then I remembered he did the very thing he accused somebody else of doing and then used it to make a preemptive strike and claim self defense. So, no, you might have some equal footing. Yeah. Yep. That cancels out what I was going to say. Never mind. Equal footing. I was gonna extend some grace, but no. Turned out I was wrong. And I remembered why. Yep. And they're gonna be like, well, all I really want is an apology, like they said about that one person. But no, I think you owe an apology. That's what I think. So, there. Okay. Either everybody's gone or everybody got real quiet because I am not good at monologuing, and we know this. Answering messages. One moment. The people who usually jump up here have other things going on today and they are busy, and that's okay. I understand. I too get busy and am rarely off work early enough to stream, which is why when I do stream, it's usually on a weekend anyway. So I get that my usual peoples are preoccupied, and my book people have probably given up on me because I keep saying if my book people come in, let me know because I got some questions for you, but I think they got tired of waiting and they might have given up on me. So I kind of feel bad. But if you ever come back, I have some questions for you for the book peoples. And it says I still have people watching, but nobody's typing and nobody's jumping up on the stream. So I will give it a couple of more minutes. I may even make you sit in silence. I don't know, but I'll give it a couple of more minutes and then I'll probably shut down. I have to work early in the morning anyway. So, no big deal to me. Wonder if Linda's still sniping my stream or if she got bored. Oh, you know what? Ace is live, so I'm gonna end mine, but later days, pretty shiny peoples. Bye! Thanks for coming and all that good stuff.